winter wonderland out here today. Only about 37 degrees today, but that's, you know, a good temperature to fish in the winter time because it's just above freezing, so you don't really get any ice forming on your line or on your rod guides. So today should be a good day if there's some open water. And if I don't slip down this hill. Oh yeah, the lake is open, woo! Perfect day, not much wind out here at all. I can really cast that little finesse fish way out there. Just working this finesse fish really slow along the bottom. That's where those bass are gonna be hanging. There he is, fish on. Bite, I don't know what this is, probably a pickerel. Yep, it's a little pickerel. The pickerel are a lot easier to catch than the bass and the perch this time of year. Little guy. Oh, he's got that line in the corner of his mouth. Woo! Nice little snow pickerel. Okay. Ooh, not a bad little pickerel. You know, any fish pretty much you catch in the winter time with this kind of weather is a good fish to catch. He really ate that. The line was caught right in the corner of his mouth. That's why he didn't break me off. This fish is really being resilient. He's not. And he took trying to take my finesse fish. Get him on his way. That was a really the guy was really crazy. All right, let's catch some more. All right, guys. Well, I'm only caught one fish today, but you know, I gave it a shot, and I thought I was going to do a lot better than I did. But you know, the fish are probably just out of whack because for, you know, a solid 3, 4, 5 days, we had about 50, 60 degree weather. Then we had a big rainstorm that came by, and it melted all the ice off the lake. And then, you know, we had a snowstorm that dropped like a foot or more of snow, and then now it's back into the 30s. So that's just a huge fluctuation of temperature. It probably shut down the fish a little bit, and that was probably why I only caught one pickerel. But you know, I had to give it a shot. It looked promising, and you know, catching one fish is better than none. So, you know, pretty good, decent day in my book. But anyways, you know, the setup that I've been using is the same setup that I've been using to catch fish in my last couple videos. But I just want to go into a little bit more depth of exactly how I'm fishing with this little Lunker City finesse fish. And but let me just go over the setup again real quick. If you haven't seen my earlier 2 videos, and you guys can go check them out. But my rod setup basically is just a Berkley Cherrywood HD 5'6" ultralight spinning rod, rigged with a Quantum Optix 10 spinning reel, a nice little reel with 5-pound test green moss Power Pro braid, and basically a 6-pound or 4-pound test Blue Label Seaguar Fluorocarbon leader. And then I'm using that little tiny Lunker City finesse fish on a 1/16 ounce jig head, and sometimes I even go down to 1/32 of an ounce, and that leads to me explaining why I go so light, because this little setup, you know, is almost like an ice fishing, you know, this is like an ice fishing reel, and you know, it's a really light action rod. You know, this is almost just like an ice fishing setup, but just for like open water. And when you're using a light ultralight rod like this, you can cast little jigs out there, you know, 1/32 of an ounce, 1/16, 1/8 of an ounce, and you can actually cast them out there pretty far. And then the whole purpose of fishing with such a light jig like this is because, you know, most of the fish that are out there, they're lethargic. They're not moving around real fast. The water's in the 30s. The water is cold. So basically, let me just put my rod down real quick. So basically, when I cast this out, I'm letting it sink all the way down to the bottom. You know, it might take, 15, 20 seconds to get all the way down to the bottom because, that's a really light jig. 1/32, 1/16 of an ounce. But once it gets on the bottom, what I do basically, say it's laying on the bottom like that, is I just slightly pick it up. And then I start working it along the bottom, nice and slow. Nice and slow. And then basically, I want to be between, 1 and 2 inches up above the bottom. Because that's where most of those fish, they're either going to be laying on the bottom or suspended right above the bottom, kind of just cruising around, or they might just be sitting there, and they're going to see this little tiny finesse fish just swimming by, and they have a split-second decision to kind of react to it. And for those fish that aren't as aggressive, what I like to do is what I'll do is I'll pull it up and then just let it fall and sink right back down. So if I'm fishing it, say, at 2 inches off above the bottom, I'll give it a jerk and I'll pull it up, maybe say a foot off the bottom, and then what I do then is let it free fall. And then basically I wiggle my rod tip and just let that thing flutter, and it has a really, really slow sinking fall to it, and probably 80% of the time, especially in the cold weather like this in the winter, those bass or those pickerel, right when that jig sinks, they're going to come up and eat it, and then you're going to pick up the slack a little bit and just feel the weight, and boom, you're going to hook up with a fish. But I hope that little bit of information helps you guys out. I recommend you guys should probably get a setup like this. This is one of my favorite setups to use. Early winter, all the way through winter, and then especially early spring. All through March, I'll probably be using this setup, unless we start getting like 70, 80 degree days. You never know. It was 60 degrees, but February 1st, so it could be 80 degrees in March. But then I'll probably start throwing a jig on the bottom or something, start throwing some jerk baits. But this is one of my favorite early springtime techniques to catch bass, pickerel, perch. Pretty much any kind of species that are swimming in the water are going to hit this. I sometimes even catch big bluegill on it. So anyways, you guys should definitely check it out. You can go to Bass Pro Shops. A lot of tackle stores have ultralight fishing rods and cheap reels that you can definitely purchase. This whole setup probably costs a total of $50, so that's not too bad at all. Also, guys, I just wanted to ask if anybody has found a net. I actually, because when I'm fishing with a really light setup like this, sometimes I carry a net, especially because I'm fishing around a lot of rocks, and I'm using light line, and when you catch a 4-pound pickerel, it's just easier to scoop them up with a net. And it's a net that I've caught a ton of fish with, and I think I was carrying it around with me at Manchester Reservoir, where I am right now, and I think I might have just left it, or I brought it to my car and I leaned it against my car, and then I pulled away without putting it in my car. I'm not 100% sure, but it has a gold handle on it, maybe around 3 feet long, and then it's a big black rubbered net. It's a real nice net. I'm just asking if you guys find it, just if you could, contact me, and I'd really appreciate it. It's has sentimental value. When you catch a lot of big fish with, your favorite fishing rod, it's worth the world to you. So, yeah, if you guys could, if anybody found it, that'd be great. If you could just get back to me and let me know if you have it. But anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Get out here. There's still fish to catch, but you just got to work hard for them and have the right tackle and use the right technique in order to catch fish. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys later.